Hi, my name is Marcus, and welcome to Holistic Engine, giving you the tools and the knowledge to live a better life. Mindset management can be quite daunting and challenging if you don't have the necessary tools and the techniques and the knowledge to apply them in your daily life. We all heard of this. Just think positively, and positive thoughts will come to you, and positive things will come to you. But no, that's wrong. That's a flat out lie. Just thinking positively will not actually bring about the joy and happiness that you seek. Just thinking to yourself, I'm happy, when you're not happy. There is a blend of actions and thinking positively that has to be emerged into one process before we can actually start to feel joyful and happy. I will explain that later down in this video. If it doesn't make sense to you, it will eventually. So therefore I have outlined 4 mindset management techniques that I use to actually have my mindset and my happiness on a level that is satisfactory to my well-being. My first mindset management, and I have talked about this in a lot of Instagram posts and in other videos, but it's bird's eye reflection. That simply means that I have a third person view of myself and my thoughts. For instance, I could be journaling in a bird's eye reflective way. So instead of me writing, I am unhappy, I could be writing, why is Marcus unhappy? So you're both distancing yourself and asking a question, as you would a friend. Jordan Peterson said this very famously. Take care of yourself as you would a child. That's how we need to approach ourselves in many ways. When we start to do bird's eye reflective exercises, we start to see certain patterns emerging, certain patterns of behavior and certain thought patterns that we were unaware of and unconscious of. By revealing those, we can eliminate them from our lives. But we first need to recognize them, and we need to first actually know they are there to begin with. How are you supposed to get rid of something that you don't know exists? A tricky question, I know. But by being reflective on our thoughts and our behaviors and our minds, we can reveal them and then eliminate them. Number 2 is, yes, thinking positive thoughts, but hear me out. I do this in a very practical way. The moment a negative thought comes to my mind, Jim Quick said it's called ants. It's an insect, a bug, like a computer bug, but an ant means automatic negative thoughts, right? They come about during the most random of times. You could be hanging out with your girlfriend, or you could be having sex with your boyfriend, or eating dinner with your dad, and all of a sudden a thought comes into your mind about how you fucked up something about 10 years ago. So we need to handle this thought in the most efficient way we can. I have a technique called 10 positive thoughts equals 1 negative thought. Essentially, a negative thought always weighs more than a positive thought. Why? It has to do with evolution. Our minds are primed for negativity because it had a survival advantage when we were running on the savannah, chasing gazelles and hiding from carnivores in the forests of Europe. So, of course, seeing negative stuff granted our ancestors a survival advantage. So we are left here in the modern world with our ancestors' genetics. It's just a fact of life that you have to accept, but then you need to handle it like this. We could say that 1 negative thought weighs about 10 kilograms and a positive thought weighs about 1 kilogram. So yes, you could then think 20 positive thoughts, but let's not get ahead of yourself. We can just start balance out. Try to achieve balance before you take your mind to the next level. But those positive thoughts actually have to be distinct from each other. And I know, yes, it can be challenging to come up with 10 distinct thoughts, especially if you're considered a very negative person. But we have to do this. And you have to realize that being uncomfortable is the only road to actually bring about your mind and your body and your spirit and your soul in a constant state of positive vibrations. So that's number 2. For every negative thought, there must be 10 positive thoughts. Number 3, gratitude. Being grateful has to be the most powerful tool on this planet. Having a gratitude journal keeps you from the insanity of misery and suffering, because in the midst of everything around you breaking down, being grateful for the most little things, just having a cup of coffee in the morning, being grateful for that, being grateful for learning meditation. I'm grateful that I can have a temple that I can go to and meditate and bring myself in a sense of peace and joy. Being grateful that I have food. Being grateful that I have a loving family. Being grateful for my past experiences, even though they were negative, even though they might have brought about suffering. I'm grateful they happened, because without them, I wouldn't be the human that I am today. Having a gratitude journal can be liberating. Every night, write down 5 things you're grateful for. Or, if you don't like writing, think about 5 things that you were grateful happened during the day. Just think about them. And all of a sudden, misery doesn't seem that big. Number 4. For some people, using this technique can be scary. So if you feel extremely uncomfortable doing this technique, I suggest that you don't do it until you feel ready. Memento Mori. You need to recognize your mortality. You need to recognize the fact that you will die. Death is upon us all. And I'm not saying this to be morbid or negative or bring about distress into your thoughts, but simply reflecting on the fact that you can die at any moment. Someone could break into my door and kill me right here, right now. I could be run over a car tomorrow. I could get cancer now. And if I don't, someday I will die of old age. Just thinking for a moment that you will die, that you will forget everything, every experience that you ever had, every money that you ever made will be totally forgotten in that casket of yours under the ground. But we can see this from a very positive point of view, because instead of saying, oh shit, I will die, we can say, oh, I will die. Then perhaps Donald Trump being a president wasn't so bad after all, if I will not remember it. Or Hillary Clinton being a Hillary Clinton wasn't so bad after all. Doesn't really care about politics, I'm not going to go into that. But jokes aside, you see, just reflecting on the fact that you will die can... What's the point of misery then? What's the point of suffering if we will just forget about it? I'm not saying this is a cure for depression, but I'm saying that this puts things into perspective. I don't actively journal about death. I just reflect upon it from time to time when it's needed. Because thinking about death actually brings me joy. I actually feel happy about myself when I think about death. Because of that, I don't take things too seriously, and neither should you, because in the end, who will remember them? So these were 4 mindset management techniques. And I have outlined a 5th mindset management technique in a video down below called How to Meditate 7 Steps to Liberate and Calm Your Mind. I would suggest that you watch that one. Meditation can also be a very powerful tool, but I go into depth about that process. Link is in the description below. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and stay blessed.